What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 11 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I've got for you guys the Rock Cup final against Gibraltar United. So you guys may remember at the end of last episode I kind of said we'll probably be back for the Rock Cup semi-final. In the end, I didn't livecom that game. Match of the day was on, and that had my undivided attention. I didn't want to stop watching to record, I'm afraid. We were playing Lynx, however, which was one of the easier draws we could have got, and it should have been a convincing result. As you can see, we actually won the semi-final here 2-1, which was a good result. Rul and Legia with the goals. But I was a little bit surprised it was as close as that, as in the following game, which was against Lynx, but in the league, we beat them 6-0, which is kind of the result I was hoping and half expecting in that semi-final. Anyway, in terms of other results since that last episode, which was against Britannia, where we won quite memorably 9-2, and if you missed that game and you want to know how the hell did you win 9-2, you should definitely go watch that. We've played a decent amount of games. We've only lost one game in the league since then. It came against Europa Point. We'll talk about the Rock Cup games in a second, but yeah, we lost against Europa Point 3-2. We then bounced back fairly well. Red Imps, we beat 3-0. A really memorable result, this one. Tristan Sargent, Griffo and Anthony Hernandez with the goals there. And that was a really, really good performance against Lincoln Red Imps. We then beat Gibraltar United, who of course we're playing today's final 4-0. Gibraltar United, a team who really have struggled this year. If we look at the league, I believe they saved their asses right at the death. They did. They ended up on 35 points, but if we look at past league positions in Gibraltar United, you'll be able to see that they were around the bottom of the table for quite an extended period of time before a very, very late resurgence and some good results. So today they could be quite a tricky team to take on. Anyway, the next few results, again, fairly convincing, good wins. We beat Manchester United 62 FC. We then drew with St Joseph's. We then won, of course, in the Rock Cup semi-final, as already mentioned. We then beat Lynx 6-0. Ben Connolly grabbing a hat-trick. This guy doing very, very well this year. And this hat-trick actually came in the span of 10 minutes. A pretty darn impressive display by this guy. Made the game comfortable for us. Ben Connolly, of course, joined us this year from Lincoln Red Imps. And he wasn't really given a chance there. In 5 games, he didn't get any goals. We've given him a chance. We've put him in our team. And he's actually worked absolute wonders for us so far. So that was really, really pleasing. And then to round off the season, a little bit disappointingly, we drew 1-1 with Gibraltar Lions, which was a bit of a dampener, I guess, in terms of how we ended the season. But regardless, we did win the league. We kind of knew that at the end of last episode, you guys may remember. It was kind of a situation where I think we needed 7 points from 7 games. And it looked highly unlikely that we were going to completely throw away the league. In terms of how the division finished, we ended up on 58 points, which, to be honest, whilst a great kind of position, I guess, the points total is a little underwhelming. If we look at last year in the league, teams were much, much better than they were this year. College Europa and Lincoln Red Imps both ended up on 67 and 70 points respectively. If you compare that to this year where we got 58, it's fair to say that one of the reasons we've been successful this year is because, well, everyone has beaten everyone. It's been a really close league, and I mean, to be fair, if you look at it here, all the way from Manchester 62 in FC in third to second from bottom, Britannia are separated by 7 points, which, I mean, this league's been close throughout, and that's actually one of the bigger points gaps we've seen. But regardless, it really gives you an idea of just how close this league's been. We are the only team in the league to win more than half of our games. College Europa only won 13 out of 27 games. It's been pretty crazy in that regard, if I'm honest. I am kind of shocked and a little bit surprised at how close the rest of the teams have been from us. I kind of expected us to be kind of in a dogfight in the middle of the pack here. I'm glad we're not. But at the same time, I think we've been kind of a benefactor of no other team really having a standout season. And I think next year, things are probably going to be a little bit trickier. I expect some of these teams to strengthen and, you know, it could make things a little bit interesting for us. Anyway, in terms of the Rock Cup, I actually already touched upon the semi-final a little bit, the one that I decided not to livecom. I do want to talk about the quarter-final because it was a win against Gibraltar Phoenix. And the reason I want to talk about it is not because it was a particularly memorable game, but because there was one goal which, I mean, I don't know, get the tissues out, boys. It was that good. It was an incredible goal. When this went in, I think I did a little dance around my house. But anyway, the throwing got taken in. Legia passed out to Griffo, crossed it in, and then Anthony Hernandez bicycle kick. Yeah, that's right, a Gibraltarian bicycle kick. And he even did a little flip for his celebration. Look at that, he's loving it. He is absolutely, I was loving it. Everyone was loving it. We were on the pitch. If we just change to vertical zoom scrolling and look at this again, I feel like it deserves a second look from a slightly better angle, but this came out of nothing. This is not a position to do a bicycle kick from, and he did it, and it squeezed its way in. I was a little bit surprised. I think it's fair to say that was not what I was expecting, kind of right there from Hernandez. I know he's good. Didn't think he was bicycle kick good. That's in a whole nother level. But that was an incredible goal, and that kind of kick-started our win there. Although it was only 2-0, it was fairly convincing, and we held a lead throughout most of the game. I do want to just touch upon the league kind of awards before we go into this historic Rock Cup final. It's going to be our first final, of course, in our 2-year history. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to scroll too far to find these awards. But I feel like it's worth talking about them because there was the Team of the Year and a few other bits and pieces. So, yeah, if we look here, where are we looking? Right. Yeah, we'll go from here. So Roldan won Player of the Year. He's been a very good player for College Europa this year. Worth noting, however, that he's retiring at the end of the season. Brunino got the runner-up place at Lincoln Red Imps, and then Anthony Hernandez actually got third place in Player of the Year. 12 goals for a right midfielder is not too bad a return, I think it's fair to say. In terms of top goal scorers, Antonio Trujillo got that for College Europa. Not entirely surprising, he's a very good player, but he is leaving at the end of the year. And to be honest, a lot of the big teams in our country are losing players. You know, a lot of their big players are joining other teams at the end of their contracts. Ben Connolly squeezed in at the third place for goals in the season with 15, which was pretty impressive. In terms of Young Player of the Year, Tristan Sargent, our player, won that award. The 20-year-old didn't exactly have a standout season in his first year with the club, but this year, 5 goals, 2 assists, 6 player of the matches. That's a pretty decent return for a centre midfielder. You can see 5 goals, 2 assists as I already mentioned, but at 22 years old, pretty decent performance so far this year. In terms of goal of the season, we didn't get any goal of the seasons. We did, however, get Manager of the Year, which was really pleasing. Last year, we only got runner-up. This year, we got it with a 66% win percentage. In terms of the Team of the Year, we had 5 players in this team. Unfortunately, we didn't have any strikers in it, but I guess on quite a positive note, of the back 4 and goalkeeper, 4 out of the 5 players were ours, which was decent. So anyway, that was a little bit about the awards and how kind of this season ended. All in all, really impressive season. Joe Borg in goal really stepped up. Reyes had a really good season with 14 assists, which for a right back, I think it's fair to say is pretty decent. Glyn Gilbert as well at left back with 8 assists. He still only has 3 crossing, but I mean, if you guys have watched some of the live comms, it seems like he gets an assist every other game. The left back, he's done really, really well for us. Anthony Hernandez, without a doubt, kind of the player of the year, at least in my opinion. The right midfielder really kind of made that position his own this year. And you can see here 12 goals and 10 assists in 27 games for a player who joined us on a free is quite a mighty impressive return, really. Elsewhere, Monte Griffo out on the left did well. 8 goals and 11 assists for him. And then in the final third, I mean, none of our strikers got in the Team of the Year, but when you look at it, I mean, we had 4 players get 14 plus goals this year, including 3 strikers. And considering we only play with 3 strikers, it kind of gives you an idea of the dilemma I've had this year. So Ben Connolly, as we already talked about, you know, he got in the divisional kind of top goal scorer awards, getting 3rd place, which was pleasing. Leguia did well. He got 16 goals. He got 13 of those in the league. The striker who of course, did a really good job for us last year. This year he really stepped up again and performed well. Didn't play a load of football, but that's because we had 3 strikers to rotate around. I can't talk. And then our other striker, Jose Maria Sanchez Rull, did very well as well. The poacher had a good season, good first season. He kind of came into the club and I wasn't sure what to expect of him. He looked good on paper, but his previous form last season wasn't great. This year he really, really stepped up to the mark for us and, well, performed, I think it's fair to say. So anyway, let's get into this kind of Rock Cup final. It's worth noting, of course, with winning the league, we do actually now qualify for the Champions League. So that will be the first game of next episode, will be our first Champions League qualifying games ever in the history of the club. We enter the stage at the very, very first kind of qualifying round, which is where the champions of, I think, kind of the 6 smallest nations play each other. So we will be taking on, potentially, I think, the winner of the Welsh Premier League, maybe the winner of the San Marinan League. There's a load of kind of, you know, the obscure kind of tiny leagues around Europe. All their champions go into a big kind of pot. And I think there's like 6 or 8 teams in total that make up the first qualifying round, of which will be one. Not going to be easy. That will be probably the first episode of next season. In terms of my plans for over the summer, if I can strengthen the team in any position, I'm going to try and do that. For the most part, the players who I want to keep on, their contracts have been extended for another year at this point, so we're not going to lose any players all of a sudden. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. It's going to be interesting to see how we get on in this kind of first Champions League qualifying stage. I believe that we might have an issue whereby our players come back from pre-season breaks and then we're suddenly thrown in at the deep end and have to play a game with unfit players. I'm hoping I can maybe, make the pre-season last as long as possible, so that we can get the players back in the changing room and back fit for kind of the qualifiers. But I remember that being a problem last time I did the save, and we do have a chance. Griffo hits the post. It's worth noting we didn't win the Rock Cup last year, and if we win it here, well, that would mean that Manchester 62 FC actually get a spot in Europe along with College Europa and ourselves for finishing third place in the league. If we lose this, well, Gibraltar United will get a spot in the Europa League. And, well, having seen that goal there, they probably deserve a spot in the Europa League. That was an incredible strike. I can't quite believe they've done that in the final. Who was that? Who are you? Gibraltar, well, the keeper debatably should do better, but that is an absolute thunder bastard of a goal into the bottom corner. Keeper, no real chance there. Gibraltar United take an early lead in this game where you'd probably say that they probably don't deserve it off the kind of run of play so far. Although we are on the attack here, maybe, although I say that, we then immediately give away the ball. But that will be Bruzon, who is the only player in the first team not to renew his contract, who will get the interception. Bruzon's a bit of a funny one. I don't know why he doesn't want to... Oh, go on, Rule. Yes, let's go. 1-1. But as I was saying, Bruzon, a little bit of a weird one. Everyone else wants to renew their contracts, and they have done. With Bruzon, when I go to offer him a contract, he says he dislikes the club, and he doesn't want to extend his contract because of his dislike for the club. But he's never shown any signs of discontent ever. And I can't work out why he'd hate the club, because he plays regular first-team football, and it's just, I don't know, a bit of a head-scratcher. I wish I could know what was going on behind the scenes of the FM game for him to actually develop a disliking to the club. But yeah, bizarre. I've never seen that happen before either, so I can't really explain that. So if you've got any ideas why Bruzon is unhappy and hates the club for no apparent reason, get them on a postcard, send them in. I wish I had a PO box so you guys could send me postcards. I don't. I really should do, though, because Juanjo, or Juanjo, or Juanho, maybe it's Juanho, I don't know. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. But either way, he's got a goal there. They've had 2 shots on target. They've both gone in. I swear to God, if I get FM'd in the final, I am going to be livid. I'm actually going to be mad. Like, I might actually go and smash up my house. I won't smash up my house, I'm not that mad. But I'll be annoyed. I'll write an angry email to Miles Jacobson at Sports Interactive. I'm going to tell the players, show a bit of desire. Not happy. Not happy at all. Fairly decent response. We need a better performance in the second half. I'm actually going to do the standard change that we've done a fair bit this year, and that is push our wingers up onto winger attack and then switch our centre mid to deep line playmaker support. And we're going to go for it. We're going to try and attack. I think I'm going to switch to make us play higher pace and also more direct and push up a little bit more. We need a goal. We need a goal. It's as simple as that. 30 minutes left and we are a goal down here against Gibraltar United in a game that we probably don't deserve to be a goal down, really. Although they are going to have a chance here. We need to deal with this. Reyes, what are you doing? Borg, good save. Get it clear. Was that the chance? It was the chance. Okay, I thought the ball was about to come back into our box. We live to fight another day, but 20 minutes left. We're actually a goal down. I will be mad if we lose this. I'd be upset. I'd actually be upset. Come on, Rule. Options out wide. That's Glenn Gilbert there. Can he go inside? He can. Griffo whips in the ball. Hernandez back post. He scores. I don't think he's offside. Don't raise your flag, Lino. He hasn't raised his flag. Anthony Hernandez, 15th goal of the season for him here in the Rock Cup final. Makes things all square. Glenn Gilbert, the man with free crossing. Didn't put in the cross that time, but was involved in the build-up. Griffo back post. Wing to wing. Tap in for Hernandez. Fans behind the crowd go wild. The security guards at the burger vans tried to contain their excitement. I think it's time we make some changes potentially, but I don't know what I want to change. We only get 5 subs in this competition, so I can't change too much. Danny B struggling a little bit, so we're going to bring on Tristan Sargent, I think, for him. I kind of want to take off Hernandez just because I don't want him to get injured, but it's the last game of the season. We don't have a right winger on the bench, so we're going to stick with him. And with 10 minutes left, it's 2-2, but you'd have to say we probably should be ahead here, and we will back ourselves to go out there and get a late goal here. Although, to be fair, David Horner for Gibraltar United can have the ball, although straight to Rull. Rull, can you pick out the ball? He can't. He kicks it straight at their player, although Sargent, the sub, wins it. Hernandez crosses it in. Back post. Griffo, can you put it back on the back post? He can. Sanchez Rull, the sub, scores again. I think that's his second goal of the game. It's been given as an own goal. Deflection off the defender. But I am not mad. I am not going to complain one little bit about this. Griffo, back post, squeezes it in. Rull is there, chests it down, goes to the volley. And there's just a big pile up in the box, and there's confusion, and somehow the ball ends up in the back of the net and it has hit their defender and gone in. But either way, 3-2, we take the lead. Part of me wants to go defensive now. Part of me thinks, well, we've scored 2 goals in a row with this current system. We are on top. Should I change it? Should I go more conventional? If I go back to what we normally play, we've already conceded 2 playing like that. Is it a bit of a risk? I'll tell you what, if we score here, the risk is over. Hernandez, can you whip it in? He can. Leguia, hit that. Oh, blocked. That was a clear-cut chance, I do think. It was. Unfortunately, however, defenders held strong. We're not throwing too many men forward at this point. Guerrero almost got there. Sanchez Rull to mop up the mess. I think this is going to be a pointless highlight. I don't know why I'm commentating it with such excitement. 8 minutes left. If they score now, I regret everything in life. I regret everything in life. Get rid of it. Now can we counter? If we turn that defender there, we're in. Unfortunately, however, Gibraltar United ploughing men forward. They've got men in the box. Lloyd, saved by the keeper. Bruce on to scramble it clear. What a save, my son, by Joe Borg in goal. He doesn't get the praise he deserves. He doesn't get tested too much in our games. But that is an absolutely massive save from here. And they're on the attack again, Gibraltar United. Juanjo. He has missed a sitter right there. Right. I'm changing back. I've changed my mind. I do want to go defensive. I want to sit everyone back. We're going to sit as many players back as we can. I don't know how those two swap positions, because I definitely didn't instruct that. Yeah, we're parking the bus. We are parking the bus right now. Right. Everyone sit back, defend, just have 2 flat lines of 4. And if we can, let's just boot it up to our lone strike. Well, I say our lone strikers, our 2 strikers who are just kind of in a completely different planet, really, on the other side of the pitch. Oh my gosh, Lloyd, please defend this. If we concede now, I'm actually going to be upset. I stayed on attacking. I didn't actually change the mentality. Oh my gosh, I'm such a noob. In the final, in the panic of a live com, I've forgotten to change our mentality. That's a mare. I mean, can I be blamed? Possibly. You'd still expect us to hold on, really. Right, boys, back to what we were on before, I guess. This game could be going to extra time, and I don't really like it, if I'm honest. 3-3 here. Gibraltar United, they're not giving up, to be fair to them. They are not giving up. This goal, sloppy defending really by us. So many men back. And it's Vitalta, who's Vilalta? I don't know. It doesn't matter. He scored the Thunder Bastard earlier. He's got his second of the final. And we're going to extra time. I'm telling the players I'm far from pleased. Some of them look demotivated and stressed. I don't care. I do not care about... what have we done from kickoff? What is that? I've got my arms outstretched. I look quite angry at my monitor. Anyway, we're on the attack here. Sanchez Rull cleared away. Only as far as Tristan Sargent. Can he go out wide? He can. Reyes whips it in. Leguia scores! One of the first signings we made here at the club last year. He scores in the 100th minute. His 17th goal of the season, and that might prove to be his most important. Here in the Rock Cup final, ball out wide to Reyes, first time cross, whips it in. No defenders tracking back, keeper flat-footed. Leguia says thank you very much and scores right there. Makes it 4-3. I've learnt from my mistake. I'm not switching to defensive. I'm not switching our player roles around. We are sticking with this system because, simply put, it's worked this game. We've scored 3 goals whilst playing like this. Granted, we have conceded 3 goals, but they weren't whilst using this system. And so, by the laws of averages, I should keep using it. Although they're on the attack here. Get that away, Bruce on. Fantastic tackle. My heart may have just skipped a beat then when they had the ball in our 18-yard box. We still need to defend the set piece. We will do that. Go on, Griffo. Can we counter now? Leguia, you're fast, son. Run. Run like the wind. You can't get there. I've just quoted Toy Story 2, haven't I, there? Anyway, we need to actually defend this. Oh, what? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. What was this? Everyone's falling over each other in the box, and Lloyd just gets there. Reyes, where's the tackle, son? Where is the tackle? It's fourth. What has happened? If this goes to penalties, I might cry. If we lose this now, I'll probably cry too, to be fair. Oh my gosh, not like this. Please, not like this. Joe Borg makes himself big. The attacker puts it wide. This has suddenly become one of those really nervy finals where you kind of, if you're sat not live coming, you sit there with your hands over your mouth panicking. As things stand, I'm currently sat trying to talk, but at the same time I'm a completely broken man inside. Right, so we move on to penalties. I think it's fair to say that we don't have incredible penalty takers, but we will start this shootout. Oh gosh, penalty. Right, let's put it in director for the penalties. That's an essential part of the penalty shootout experience. Right, who's taking them first? Okay, they're first on the penalty shootouts. I don't remember live commenting a penalty shootout so far in FM16. So this is a first. I'm now going to rest my head in my hands, just shake my head as they probably score everyone. Joe Borg, who came in at the start of this season from Mons Calpe. This is a chance to save yourself, or you can let them score. I mean, they're shooting at their fans. That's probably a disadvantage. Go on, Glennie Gilbert. He's hit it straight at the keeper and it's gone in. Cannot complain about that. It finds the back of the net. That's what matters. Wanho scores 2-1 Gibraltar United. Who is the pressure going to be on? I hate taking penalties second. I hate it. Reyes, you made a mistake on the first goal. Can you score here? He can. Straight down the middle. 2-2. Caffarino scores. Borg went the right way. Oh, wait, did you see their goalkeeper celebrating there when that went in? Look at the goalkeeper celebrate. I've never noticed that before. It's because I don't really play on director, so I don't normally see this corner. Anyway, Lloyd shoots. He scores. If we miss now, I'm going to be well upset. Who's taking it for us? Oh, it's Roberts. Please, Roberts. I mean, that's a good penalty. Straight in the bottom corner. Cannot complain about that. Power to take their next one. Borg, come on. Borg cannot come to the rescue, and we have to score this. And if we do, it's going to sudden death. Tristan Sargent steps up. He scores. I don't like it. I don't like it. Medina now stepping up for them. Shoots. Borg with the save. This is a chance to win it. Who's taking the penalty? Griffo. Come on, Griffo. Score. He has scored. The keeper got a hand to it and I thought it was going to be saved, but he has scored. We have won the Rock Cup here in the least convincing fashion I think I've ever seen. We turned it around from behind. I mean, I guess it was good. We were 2-1 down at half time, but that should have been a lot more comfortable. I mean, it was a close game statistically, but going into this game, we knew what was expected of us, and, well, we didn't quite match that performance, but we did win a cup. So I guess I can't complain too much. Anyway, we have celebrated a historic double as we won the Rock Cup and the Premier. We actually topped the Gibraltar Hall of Fame. Excellent. I don't know why we're appearing multiple times in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's a weird bug. That's strange. Never seen that before. We'll also praised by the supporters. The board are happy. We're happy. We were the overachievers of the entire tournament. And looking at our finances, with the prize money of that competition, I mean, we're going to be in a slightly better place, which is quite nice. And of course, we are going to be competing in the first round of the Champions League next year. And just to give you an idea of the impact that that's going to have for us, College Europa, of course, won the league last year. They lost to TNS in the first kind of qualifying round that I mentioned before. If we have a look at that first round, you can see kind of some of the teams that we're going to potentially come up against. But if we look here at the rules, and then look at the Championship first qualifying round, if you lose, you still get £142,000. And I think there's also TV money that maybe comes in on top of that. If we can make it to the second round, we get another, well, you get £200,000. So basically, the bottom line is that we're going to be out of debt next season, which is really nice. I'm not really expecting us to get beyond the first round in our first year. Really, the aim for the next few seasons is just going to be to consistently try and win the league, assert some domestic dominance here in Gibraltar, and then from there, hopefully go professional with the kind of TV money and prize money we kind of amount for just consistently qualifying for the Champions League. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this episode and this season from me, guys. A really good season all in all. Top performers really this season. There's quite a lot of them. We played very, very well. Tristan Sargent had a great season at centre mid. The youngster, he's now got 8 caps for the first team of Gibraltar. Speaking of which, just a quick look. You can see here a lot of our players are now top players in Gibraltar, which is pleasing. I think that's because their rep has improved, as well as obviously they've improved as players during their time at the club. And one thing I need to mention is, obviously, we tweeted Liam Walker quite a lot previously, a few episodes ago. He actually decided to retire and just stick a big middle finger up to me and leave. So I've cried. So Liam, I mean, I'm not upset, I'm just a little bit disappointed. The other thing, Gibraltar have entered the top 200 in the world rankings. Can we have a ripple of applause right now? They are now officially better than Tonga, Somalia, Cook Islands. I mean, San Marino, you're next. You are next, San Marino. And that's got to be the dream for Gibraltar, to be officially better than San Marino. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this episode and this season from me. A really good season, surpassed all my expectations. We did perform very, very well. We were kind of the blessing of what was an incredibly competitive season where we kind of capitalised on other teams screwing up. But yeah, that's going to be all from me. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, smash the like button. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.